This is Carter Wilcoxon, CEO and founder of CSI Financial Group. Today I'm joined by our Director of Business Development, Scott Garcia. Scott, thanks for having the opportunity to come out here and do some filming and do some education on basically what we're going to be talking about today on best practices for advisors to be successful with our advisor partner platform.
Right, very important. It's a pleasure to be here in Arizona. It's 19 degrees in St. Louis and 72 here, so it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, perfect. Well, you know, the first thing that we want to address and go through is really the best practices and why advisors are successful or struggling to be able to be successful utilizing our advisor partner platform. So Scott, you just got through doing a little bit of filming and educational on the client intake form and what you go through after you do an event, clients come in and everything. What I really want to address today is the issue and the things that we've learned since we first launched this out officially, you know, back in May, is the things that we realize if we don't follow the process, if the advisors aren't following the process, they're basically doomed to fail. Is that fair?
True. It's proven over and over again. You know, we have a written process. We've developed everything we can for the advisor, whether that comes from the seminar program, all the 7 steps to go through. If somebody would follow those processes, you really can't fail. I mean, the numbers are just in your advantage, and the process we have is so needed, you can't fail. What we find is people skipping processes, changing them around, and they're going to get in trouble doing that.
Yeah, so you know, another area that we want to address is some of the fear and concern when we're talking to prospective advisor partners is, you know, they're wondering about, you know, a bait and switch, or, you know, well, we're really ultimately trying to get to the assets, and of course we are. But if you follow the process, the way that we have designed specifically with best practices in mind, and you just said it, Scott, it's impossible not to be successful if you just follow the process, which we have laid it out completely, perfectly, step by step for you to be able to be successful. So let's talk a little bit about maybe some of the concern that you've had as you've been, you know, helping with recruiting and educating and enlightening some of these advisors with regards to the client acquisition that we've developed, and that's the whole purpose of this is for client acquisition in an area that helps you to elevate the client experience and add the extra credibility that you now are going to be able to have by tapping into our entire team approach.
Sure. You know, the thing is, what I see talking to agents is, you know, how'd you do this week, or how was your event? Well, they'll tell me, well, we only sold one, we implemented 1 or 2 trusts, but they're coming back for a financial. I got 6 guys coming back for a financial review. Well, the problem with that is I know that agent or that advisor didn't really take into consideration how important the trust is. Our whole platform is based on doing the proper thing, which is estate planning. We don't want to be accused or have the idea that we're doing this just for the assets. We all get in trouble that way, and the client can see that, and you become just like everybody else. Why our platform is so important is it'll set you apart from all of your competition if you'll follow the process, because you'll be the only advisor in your town that has an attorney on staff, a trust company, accessibility, all these things, the platform with the private client counsel for the estate plan, the ability for your clients to make changes themselves, that does not exist anywhere else. So I think if the advisor will take into consideration what this all offers and not worry about the assets, because the assets will come anyway. That's a natural thing if we do the job right. What we see happening, because we're all trained in our business to go after the assets, we've been doing that for 25, 30 years in some cases, but that's not our process, that's not our program. Our program is to get them a good legal foundation, go through the process. If you do that, then the client will even want you to help with their assets even more, because they realize that you're doing what's best for them, not just going after their money. So we don't want to be accused of baiting and switching, and that's what, it's funny, Carter, some of these agents that we try to talk to accuse us of bait and switching without even knowing our process, and then they get in our process and they do the bait and switching. So it's important, if you guys really want to be tremendously successful, and I always say this to Carter, I don't know if he'll back me on this, he probably will. If you follow our process and do an average job, you do everything average, you're going to be at about 30 to 40,000 in revenue every single month. If you just do an average job, but I think doing a great job, you could even do maybe double that.
Yeah, I'll completely agree with that. And basically what you're saying is that the foundational approach right? With starting with the legal aspects of everything. It is so imperative. And if you ever skip, fast forward, and I promise you, we've seen this. Clients that come in, they are still wondering if you're the guy or the gal that can help them in this area. So they'll test the waters. They'll actually try to drag you down a road and try to get you to fast forward, or they'll try to get you to get the cart ahead of the horse, so to speak, and start talking about the financials. And you just talked about it again in the training. You have to pump the brakes on those clients and say, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, you may never take a recommendation that I'm going to give you. But if we don't do this process, the foundational aspects of getting all of your affairs in order, then all the other won't even matter. And that we have seen, Scott, we've seen that actually break down barriers and it gives more credibility and more trust immediately, because those clients have never heard that happen. And we know this because we have seen it time and time again along the way. So let's talk a little bit, if you don't mind, on the success that we've had with one of our advisor partners, someone who had been out there sort of, trying to figure it out and was a transactional advisor, like most are. And we use the terminology advisor sort of loosely there if you're transactional, and we get it. Everybody here understands that's watching this. And Scott, you and I both understand. Eventually, in order to monetize a relationship, some sort of transaction has to take place. We get that. And it's a little bit of a leap of faith, those that may be watching this for the first time, that you'll get to the assets, but we know, beyond a shadow of doubt, we've seen it time and time again. If you follow the process, it's impossible not to be successful, and you will get to the transaction that ends up monetizing the relationship. But let's talk a little bit about Sheldon Novak, if you don't mind, a little bit of your background with him and you guys' history and what we've really been doing for him in the St. Louis area as well.
Sure. Yeah, a lot of you might talk with Sheldon on the phone. I know he's eager to talk to you guys about his success. I've known Sheldon for 20 years, great guy, been in the business a long time, and he and I really, last 20 years have been building our practice the old-fashioned way with phone calls, door knocking, doing self-mailers, all that hard work. And we brought Shelley into the process probably in April this year, and he's happy as a lark because this process has enabled him to probably double or triple his income. And he told me the other day, he goes, Scott, I love this. I can't believe these people are coming to see me. And he's really just, I think the success Shelley has had is he told me when we had our first meeting, he goes, Scott, I'm going to do whatever you tell me to do. I don't care if I like it, if I agree with it, I'm going to do whatever you tell me to do, knowing that Carter and I developed this plan that it couldn't fail. It's already been tested. It's not like we're trying to see if it works. It does work. We've proven that. But Shelley has just followed the process, and boy, if I told you the amount of commission he has pending, what he's made so far, I'll let him tell you that sometime. But he can't wait to get into the office. I brought him out of semi-retirement, and he can't wait for his next event. He's having a great time.
I mean, 40 plus years in the business, right? Mid 70s, something like that, right? I mean, I talked to him on the phone, and it's amazing. And I've known, Shelley, we call Sheldon, for probably close to 15 years, almost as long as I've known you. And the enthusiasm, it's like he's been reborn almost, right? And I love to see what it is. So, I think that maybe like one of the last things I want to do is maybe an overview of what it is. If you're a prospective advisor partner that's watching this, you're thinking about, man, it sounds really good. You get phone calls all the time, Scott, right? From other IMOs all the time. And I've talked about this a lot with a lot of the current advisor partners that have understood and been enlightened on what it is that we've done. Is it fair to say that this is something in your 32 plus years, right? And because of your experience that you previously had, is it fair to say that this really is, this is without comparison?
Nothing like it. I've been in the business 32 years, been through it all, done it all. I think I've done it all. It feels like I've done it all. But I got calls three this week on, hey, Scott, we got this new product. We got this new participation rate. This is awesome. And I said, oh, great. What do you have to get me in front of 30 to 40 people this month? Well, what are you talking about? Well, at that point, the conversation ended. This program we've developed is so needed. If you guys call Carter, and you realize the general population is so uneducated in this topic They don't even know they need it, most of them. But once they find out what we do, they can't wait to come in for an appointment. And then if you follow the process, you're going to gain their trust, and it's a natural turn of events to see all their assets and help them with financial things. But it's a game changer. It really is. Again, if you follow the process. If you call us and you get involved, you try to do it yourself, we really can't guarantee a success. But I think Carter will back me on this. If you guys call us and really have a genuine need and a want to help people the correct way, you don't have commission dollars in your mind, you have helping people in your way, the process will lead you to tremendous success, unlimited success. And Shelley told me the other day, he goes, usually when it gets this time in St. Louis, I don't work anymore, it's too cold. He goes, I don't work in July, it's too hot. He goes, this has given me the ability to work all year. Mm-hmm. But for you guys as advisors, and Carter owns the company, I really am the business development director with the company. However, a director of business development, mm-hmm. but I'm really an agent. I'm like you guys. I'm in the field every single day. This situation, we're not trying to perfect it. It is perfected. It works. You guys just have to follow the process. So if you do call, I would just say, have that in mind. I'm going to let these guys walk me through the process. I'm going to follow the process, and you'll have great success.
Yeah, and here's the thing. When I formed CSI Financial Group, I knew that I had to differentiate myself, but then by extension, differentiate the advisor. Right? Because we know what the competition is out there. We understand, was it 10, 11,000 baby boomers a day that are retiring? You're all after the same assets. Every single one of you that's watching this, it's very competitive. What we have formulated and put together is completely turnkey. You're able to tap into an entire team that has a vested interest in your success, over 250 plus years of combined experience.
Yes.
In all of these different disciplines in the financial services area. We've got our advisor partner platform makes up 4 of what we call our pillars to success. It's the training, it's the marketing, it's the mentoring, and then of course the support. So I knew that we had to develop something that could help CSI Financial Group be different, that ultimately would help you to be able to be different. And that's exactly what we've done here. Whether it is your, what we call the already convinced clients, that you've been working with, we have a system and a turnkey platform for you to be able to share with them your new value add, and that's what this becomes, your new value add. And or if you are doing workshops in that client acquisition initiative, we have a complete turnkey PowerPoint presentation and training and all that stuff. And Scott, maybe you can talk a little bit about how we were just training you were mentoring, right? Mm-hmm. As the mentor program, we were just mentoring one of the advisors who's been in the business for, 25 years?
25 years, yes.
Right? Securities license, RIA, and I don't think he could be any more excited about what the opportunity is.
Right.
And it just goes to show you that this is an area that if you take the time and understand, it is unprecedented, and it's not just the next shiny object. This really is the magic bullet.
Sure. Yeah, that agent we talked to, he's so excited. He goes, I'm about to jump out of my skin. I'm so excited. He's been in business 25 years. And my personal experience, a lot of you out there listening to this today or watching this today, I work hard every month, try to see, if I had 6 new interviews a week, I'd be ecstatic. Most agents see 10 new people a month. Mm-hmm. This process puts you in front of probably 25 to 30 people every single month. And you're not talking to them about just life and annuity like everybody else. You're talking to them about estate planning, stuff they don't even know about. When we do that seminar, those people are setting those appointments. Sheldon, we talked about him, he's setting 88% of the people who attend are coming in to see him. Not because of a life and an annuity. They're coming in because they realize, holy cow, I didn't know estate planning was this. And it rejuvenates the agent, where you're now talking to people about something they really want to talk about. The information's not readily available, so you really feel like a good feeling that you're really giving people useful information, let alone the assets. That's going to happen, but then it's much easier to get referred because their friends need to know this information. And we all know this. Most people think to get estate planning information, you got to go to an attorney, pay hourly rate. That is not true. And that's what our system lends you guys to be able to do.
Yeah, and again, we use the word process a lot. So we've developed this proprietary process. We call it the 90 and 90 formula, where we can get 90% of your estate plan done in 90 minutes or less, right? So this is something that if you want to learn more about it, just know this. We've figured out exactly what you need to know. We have the ability to teach you all along the way. And in fact, a lot of our, we use this terminology that's been used forever, cobbler's kids have no shoes, right? So it's amazing how many times that anybody that I've spoken with in my 16 years in distribution, they don't own life insurance or annuity. So they don't own what it is that they're actually, selling, right?
Totally.
But we have part of the training process is that you'll go through exactly what your clients will go through. You'll understand exactly what they're going to go through. We have left no stone unturned as far as that proprietary process is concerned. And that the most successful advisors understand exactly what it is. They follow the exact process that we've developed for them without them having to reinvent the wheel and feel like they're out there going it alone any longer, right?
True.
You are no longer working in the trunk, out of the trunk of your car, right? You go from being a 1 or 2 man show, so to speak, to now you have, 12 players on your team? That's what happens.
Yeah. As an advisor, you would immediately have, if you qualify, you'd have access to 2 attorneys at least that work for you. An income planning specialist has 22 years experience on showing people how to have tax-free income. He's at your beck and call, and he graduated from Harvard. You also have the access to Trust Bank and all their staff to help your clients. So immediately you go from, as you said, working out of your own office by yourself to having a full staff of people, 250 years of experience. All we look for is somebody honest that wants to grow their practice, that is willing to follow a process. You don't have to figure out anything. Please don't try to figure out anything. We've already got it figured out. We just want you, if you want to grow and plug into a system that definitely works, to be part of it.
Yeah, exactly. So true professionals are going to be the ones, and you just said it, qualified, right? We are looking to take someone who has the client's best interests, and we know that there are plenty of you that are out there that are doing that. We want to take you from transactional, which again, we know that that's necessary. A transaction has to happen to monetize a relationship, but we want to help you to become a transformational advisor. And with our platform, following the process the way that we developed it, giving you that track to run on, that's exactly what we do. So Scott, do you have anything like last bit that you want to share, or any other stories that you want to talk about, maybe some of your own personal success again?
Yeah, well, most of you guys out there, I've been in the business 30 years. I used to sell life and annuities all over the place, but I didn't realize that if I went to somebody's home and named the spouse as the primary beneficiary and all the kids as contingent, that I was really doing a disservice. I thought I was doing a great job, which a lot of times I was. I didn't realize if all those people were killed in a plane crash or a car accident, that the whole thing would go through probate. So that's just one of the aspects of estate planning that I didn't realize, that most advisors don't realize, that they're really doing a disservice. We can address that with our platform. The other thing, we talk about qualification. We can put you in a situation where you guys have your own area, exclusive area that you can market and have all the acumens that we give you to develop your practice. But you have to qualify for that. And as Carter said, we're looking for people who want to grow their business.
Yeah, really, we're looking for the best of the best. I realized a long time ago that, I didn't want to be everything to everybody. I wanted to be everything to some. And for those advisor partners who have already tapped into this platform, that's exactly what they're now realizing. And it's been extremely successful, and I'm excited on what the future is going to look like. So, if you're the top gun, right, that's out there, and you really want to transform your business and be able to be in front of an incredible amount of not only the assets but clients, and be able to be in a situation where the introduction opportunity is unprecedented, right? Family and friends, that's what everybody knows, the number one thing. Right? Stranger marketing is one thing. Nothing beats a referral, or what I like to coin as an introduction, so much bigger. So with that, I think that's all that we wanted to discuss today.
The only thing I throw in there is, Carter said Top Gun, and we want those people for sure. But, a guy like myself, I was making a good living, but I really had no process, no way to see more people on a consistent basis where they were coming to see me. If I wanted to make more money, I had to work harder and go see more people. This process is going to totally change your career if you want to be in a situation where you're going to work maybe 50 hours a week, because we're going to put you in front of a lot of people. But if you want to be that person to, double your income maybe from 200,000 to 400,000 or 180 to 360, we can definitely do that as long as, again, you're willing. The most important thing is willing to follow the process. We've already got it figured out, guys. But if you want to be that type of person, we'd love to hear from you for sure.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. So for Scott Garcia, I'm Carter Wilcoxon, founder of CSI Financial Group. We appreciate the time, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you.